The Independent National Electoral Commission has unveiled a total of 1,854,859 permanent voter cards for the first and second quarter of the continuous voter registration exercise in the country. Unveiling the PVCs at a press conference on the outcome of the first and second quarters of the CVR exercise, the Commission's chair, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, said from 28 June to 20th December 2021, millions of Nigerians have utilized both the online and physical registration process, thus yielding to the massive turnout of registrants ahead of the 2023 general elections. Since the commencement of the first and second quarter of the CVR exercise in June 2021, the pre-registration option has 1,014,382 registrants who completed the process, while 1,509,076 Nigerians registered in person at the Commission's designated registration centers nationwide. However, 671,106 Nigerians submitted requests to update their records, transfer their registration from where they are currently registered to other locations, or the replacement of their lost or damaged PVCs. Consequently, these achievements are attributed to the introduction of the automated biometric identification system, which is more comprehensive and robust in involving not just fingerprint identification, but also facial biometric recognition, aimed at tackling the Commission's determination to counter previous challenges of building credible elections in the country. Speaking further, the Commission's chair, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, noted that part of the measures put in place is to continually clean up the data to ensure that only eligible Nigerians are registered to guarantee hitch-free elections.
Sadly, it seems that many registrants, either out of ignorance that they do not need to register if they have done so before, or I believe that our systems will not detect this infraction, have gone out to register again. This is despite repeated warnings by the Commission against this illegal action. In addition, there are also registrants whose data were incomplete and did not meet our business rules for inclusion in the register. Both categories, that is the failure of AVs and incomplete data, constitute invalid registrations. Presently, nearly 45% of the completed registrations nationwide are invalid, rising to as high as 60% or more in some states. Strong indications that some of our staff may be complicit in facilitating these infractions, notwithstanding the stern warnings. Consequently, the Commission is reviewing reports on such staff and has commenced a detailed investigation which may include the prosecution of those found culpable. Specific registrants associated with these infractions by our staff may also face prosecution, in line with sections 22 and 23 of the Electoral Act 2022.
Speaking generally on the PVC's collection among newly registrants as well as the upcoming Ekiti and Osun state governorship elections, Mahmood hinted that the PVCs will be delivered to them in person, particularly those who registered between June and December 2021, adding that the Commission's priority is to ensure total inclusion in the entire process.
In the cases of Ekiti and Osun states, the Commission is aware that new voters in the two states, as well as those who applied for replacement of their lost or damaged PVCs, are anxious to know when their voters' cards will be available for collection. To begin with, all new voters in the two states who registered between June and December last year, have had their cards printed. They are among the 1.8 million cards to be delivered to the states over the Easter holiday. For the two states, the Commission also devolved the registration to ward level and thereafter suspended the exercise. The remaining PVCs for Ekiti State will be ready later this week, while those of Osun State will be ready in 2 weeks. Here I'm referring to the registration conducted between January and March this year for the 2 states. So all those who registered in the first 3 quarters of the exercise in the 2 states will get their cards.
Meanwhile, on the issues of party primaries, the Commission's chair reiterates its stand on the published date for all activities in the timetable and schedule of activities for the 2023 general elections, hence enjoining all political parties to adhere strictly to the rules to avoid unhappy consequences of any breach of the Commission's timetable or the Electoral Act.
10 political parties have served notices to the Commission for the conduct of their primaries. With 52 days to the last day for the conduct of primaries, which is the 3rd of June 2022, political parties are once again admonished to adhere strictly to all dates in the timetable, including the nomination of their candidates via the INEC web portal. Such nominated candidates must emerge from valid primaries as provided in Section 84 of the Electoral Act 2022. This is necessary to avoid unhappy consequences of any breach of the Commission's timetable or the Electoral Act.
The Commission is of the firm belief that some of these invalid registrations may have arisen out of ignorance. To this end, they are establishing a dedicated help desk for people who need information about the CVR to address the needs of Nigerians about registration status or whether they should register or not. While citizens who have no access to the internet can ask the registration officer at the registration center before proceeding, as all registrants whose PVCs are ready will be contacted by email and text messages on the availability of the cards and the place of collection. Vincent Okushi, QTV News, Abuja.